Staples in Yu-Gi-Oh are used because they help you win. Straight up. There are two types of staples in Yu-Gi-Oh. Universal staples that can go in every deck, such as Mirror Force. Mirror Force doesn't have some strange requirements like having 5 truckloads of monsters on the field just to use it, or 6 trap cards on the field. That's dumb. You can't even have 6 trap cards on the field. Mirror Force, you can just use it. Transfer, you can just use it. Mind Control, you can just use it. Nothing weird or strange or some requirement that you can't really get. Alright, staples are used in almost every deck. That's why they call staples. They're splashable. You can just put it in a deck. Staples are used because they help you win. Okay. Now, there are two types of staples. Universals, like I just said, but the second form is archetype staples. Hope I'm saying that word right, because sometimes I mispronounce. Anyway, these cards goes in decks, specific decks, such as Gladiator Beasts or Gravekeepers or Light Swarm. For example, Judgment Dragon is a staple for only Light Swarm decks. Why? Because JD is needed to help you win. It's an absolutely needed card. It's a used card by most people who run Light Swarm. You got War Chariots and Gladiator Beasts. You got Necro Valley and Gravekeepers. Do you get my point? Okay, staples are deemed necessary. Necessary to make a deck work and to make a deck competitive. Now, being creative in this game is difficult, and I've been experimenting using decks without certain staples. I've learned that this may not always work. It is also considered dumb or foolish or noobish, or you're a noob because you didn't use that Mirror Force. It's considered that by many Yu-Gi-Oh players. They will laugh at you. Now, but sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit. Now, I stole that from a movie I watched last night. You got to risk it to get the biscuit. The most successful deck I've ever made without staples was a remove and play deck. Most decks these days work around the graveyard. Just think about Gravekeepers who won the last YTS. Think about that. Gravekeepers can't stop remove and play decks. And remove and play decks I think are better than Gravekeepers in my opinion. Now, after putting in staples in your deck, there's plenty of room for creativity, using different monsters or teching other cards, such as Nobleman of Extermination or other underrated cards. Now, using different cards will make your deck creative, but you got to think about what really works. What works? Now, I just want you to leave a comment. Tell me some monsters that are underrated or underused that you can use.